This video is sponsored by Audible. Hey, whoa, before you skip past the intro, I have something important to tell you. After many years of you guys requesting a holiday pre-order earlier in the season and open for multiple days, we are finally doing one this year. The pre-order will be open for 3 days. It starts Saturday, November 13th in the morning at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time and goes through Monday night, November 15th at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. There will be 2 bundles available, frosted soaps in one, artisan soaps in the other. So if you want one of every single bar in this collection, now is your big chance. Don't worry though, if you're hoping to just grab 2 or 3, we will be doing a regular Christmas release on the first Saturday of December. That's when all of the single bars will be available and any limited edition soaps. Now that that's out of the way, let's proceed to the video. Hello everyone, welcome back to Royalty Soaps. Today I'm going to be making 2 soaps inspired by some of my favorite TikToks. Now, if you really like this concept and idea, feel free to recommend other videos to me on TikTok and give this video a big thumbs up, and who knows, maybe I'll do a part 2. Now, admittedly, the first soap is loosely inspired. I've been wanting to make a frog soap for a very long time, and then I came across this TikTok. It puts frogs back on my mind. I laugh every single time I see it. Go ahead and roll the TikTok.
Do you not like it?
Is that not the funniest thing ever? Like, legitimately, every single time I hear it, I laugh. And now I make that noise to Caleb all the time. If there's anything I don't like doing, I'm like, what? That little froggy in the video is looking, he's looking a little gray. I don't know if that's his regular outfit or if it's because he was really icked out by whatever treat his owner was trying to give him. But either way, my frogs are they're a little bit more green, okay? I was like, well, if he doesn't like those treats, what would he like? Maybe a nice pond with some lily pads. Maybe he would feel nice and green. So I built him what I feel like would be the ideal frog situation, since he clearly wasn't in that. So without further ado, let us make the Gagging Frog soap. So we're starting with a blue soap base, and I have also mixed in some titanium dioxide to my lye water. Go ahead and just pour that in, blend it on up. Okay, and then into this little teeny tiny slab mode, I'm going to pour our soap base. And so now we're going to add some of our mica oil drizzle. I'm just gonna start here and work my way across. The soap is at like a perfect consistency for an oil drizzle. And now we have some really sparkly blue. We're gonna put the other way. Now I'm going to swirl around the edge of the soap first, and then in the middle. I hope this will make it look kind of watery, and I think that's good for now. Before I can move on and before I can start adding embeds, the soap is gonna have to sit up quite a lot. In the meantime, I'm going to add some eco-friendly glitter. All right, and we will wait another 5 minutes. Okay, it has sat for another 5 minutes, and I'm pretty sure we can go ahead and start adding our little frog embeds. Look how cute. Now, obviously, these frogs are looking a little more green than the frog in the video. I don't know if he always be looking like that or if he really was just so grossed out that he turned a pale gray, but I wanted some green frogs, okay? I'm gonna put Mr. Froggy in on one side, and then I'm gonna do one at the very end over here. And then after that, I'm gonna place one in the middle, and that'll give me kind of a good idea of how big these bars are actually going to be. Cause I think they're gonna be like flea-flopping enormous. Yeah, that's gonna be a big bar. All right. Put his little froggy foot. And there's a teeny tiny lip that I made on these embeds. I'll bring it up close. Maybe you'll be able to see it. if you look next to the frog feet, you can see just a little bit. That's gonna help me stabilize in the soap. I'm gonna press it down. Actually, let me do it, the one over here real quick. I'm gonna press it down, that way the soap grips the frog. It fills in over that little extra bit of soap there. So right next to Mr. Frog, I'm going to add a lily pad. These are actually made using a macaron mold. Now we're gonna add some lily flowers. I was worried. I thought I wouldn't have enough room, but it looks like I might actually have room for 2 flowers per soap. Okay.
My little froggy soap looks so cute.
Okay, now the very last thing that I'm gonna do is spritz the top with a little bit of 99% rubbing alcohol. This is hopefully gonna keep my glycerin soap from sweating. Hopefully it will keep my soap top looking nice and blue and we won't get any soda ash. And then we will come back in 18 to 24 hours and we will slice up this soap and take a peek at the inside. Well, hey, we interrupt this program just for a brief moment to talk about our sponsor. Today's sponsor is Audible, and as you guys know, I love Audible. I actually have a lot of time to use Audible in soap making. There's a lot of things going on off of the camera that aren't very fun, but are very time consuming. There's a lot of dishes, there's a lot of prep work, there's a lot of cleaning, and it makes it way more fun to complete those tasks if you're listening to something interesting. Audible is the leading provider of spoken word entertainment and audiobooks ranging from bestsellers and new releases to celebrity memoirs, languages, business, motivation, and more. And now Audible is giving members even more with their all-new Plus catalog. All members have access to the growing Plus catalog with thousands of select audiobooks, podcasts, Audible originals, guided fitness and meditation programs, sleep tracks for better rest, and more, all included with membership.
I personally have been listening to the Anne of Green Gables series, and I am on the 8th book called Rilla of Ingleside. There's a couple of different versions, but I really love the one narrated by Kate Hanford. So incredible. She does such a good job of capturing what I feel to be the essence of Ellen Montgomery's writing.
If this sounds like something that interests you, you can start your 30-day free trial with Audible today. Visit audible.com/royalty soaps or text royalty soaps to 500-500 to start your 30-day free trial today. Once again, that is audible.com/royalty soaps or text royalty soaps to 500-500. Thank you so much, Audible, for sponsoring today's video. And without further ado, let's whip up that second soap. Now, soap number 2 is inspired by fellow TikTok creator Kira Fennell, who created this amazing piece of artwork that she entered into the yearly duck stamp competition. Now, if I'm saying those words and you don't know anything about it, well, welcome to my world. Literally 3 or so months ago, whenever I was on my For You page scrolling and I saw the very first video that Kira posted about this competition, and I felt so educated, it was so entertaining, and I was rooting for her hardcore. Like, I watched every single video they posted. Kira's art is so beautiful. It's so good. And honestly, I just love it when someone pours like all of themselves into a niche passion that they love that maybe isn't super trendy, but they just love it. That is speaking my language. If you want to check out the Etsy shop, check it out. I will leave links and stuff down below. Definitely go support this amazing artist. I'm going to be making a soap today inspired by the duck stamp competition. It is just going to be a landscape with a stamp on it. It's not necessarily inspired by the original painting because this is a goose and this is way more complicated than anything I could do with soap. I am going to be selling these bars as well as the Froggy Soap bars with the December soap collection that's going to be on the first Saturday of December, and part of the proceeds will go to support wildlife preservation, including wetlands preservation. Be sure to follow Kira on all of the social media down below, and without further ado, let us make our duck stamp soap. Okay guys, so I have my oils and my lye water solution. Let me show you guys the first thing I have to do. So I have created a soap scraper tool out of cardboard. Obviously, this is a very crude soap scraper. Now, there are soap makers out there like I Dream in Soap and Love Your Suds that create soap shaper tools out of plastic that are like 3D printed and stuff, and those are super great and high quality. I don't have that. So I just made mine out of cardboard. You can see this is the first shape that I'm gonna do. So we're gonna pour a green layer. This is gonna be kind of like the banks of a pond. So we'll shape that, and then right here, we'll fill up with water. So it'll be a very, very thin, very, very small layer of blue, like this much blue, and then the rest of it will be sky. But first, I gotta get this mixed up. So I'm gonna go ahead, add my lye water solution. I blended that for probably 12 seconds. It just doesn't take any time at all with these little purple molds. There's just not a lot of batter, and my stick blender is going really fast. Okay, so let's pour off our green. I'm gonna do about this much, I think. And then from here, I'm gonna pour off a little of that right into here. Awesome. Then let's go ahead and color this with green. The chances of this soap getting very messy are high, I'm just letting you know. I'm gonna add some Crazy Eyes green. This is from Mad Micah's. And I'm also going to add some Snake Island green. This is a darker green. Then I'm gonna blend these in with my mini whisk. And now that the color is all blended in, I'm gonna add the fragrance. Today I'm using After the Rain. Sorry, it's a little smeary. This is a brambleberry fragrance, and it smells like a very fresh day outside. Now I'm gonna blend this in with my mini whisk again. And now that everything is blended in, I'm going to pour this green into my light green. Use a popsicle stick to get all that soap out, and I'm not really worried about where it's falling in this batch because it is going to get kind of mixed up when I pour it. And then we'll pour right into this loaf mold here, and you see it'll start to get pretty swirly, which of course is what we want. We want this to look really nice and blended up like grass or something. Gonna take my spatula, scrapey. I've mixed up another green. This is gonna be even lighter, and I'm gonna blend that all in. I'll probably mix it up with a popsicle stick. Okay, and now that this is set up pretty good, there's only a little bit of jiggle, I'm gonna go ahead and place my soap scraper in, and I'm gonna pull back as evenly as I can. Just like so. And then now that I've gotten towards the end of that, I'm going to scoop it out gently and keep going. Lift this up, and don't worry, I'll scrape it a couple more times to make sure it's nice and smooth. That's kind of just the first go round there. All right, second little scrape here, and that looks pretty good. Now, I know it doesn't look like that big a difference. There's only a little bitty difference probably from what you can see. This right here is a better indicator, and I'm not gonna worry too much about having some extra soap on the ends because I do have just a little bit that I will be cutting off of the ends. Okay, this next part is where I'm gonna have to be really careful. I have some blue soap that I've mixed up. This is going to be our pond, and I can't let it overfill. You can probably see the seam there, and I'm just gonna use my little popsicle stick to fill in to the sides here. So there's a lip right here, and there's a lip over here, and everything else needs to fit inside that. Okay, I'm pretty sure I have some extra glue left over. I'm just going to tap this into place. I need this blue to be very, very straight, so I'm gonna tap this down. Okay, I think that's good. Gonna wipe some of this down. I had a little more on there than I thought I did. Okay, cool. I'm gonna allow that to set up while I mix up our next things. Okay, now I have my sky blue ready to go. It took a little while, and I'm going to pour onto this popsicle stick at first. I do think everything is pretty set up, but I do not want to take any chances. Not when I don't make sculpted layers like this very often. I cannot run the risk. And then once I have a good amount, and it doesn't have to be flat at all, in fact it might be better if it's not, I'm going to pipe in some clouds. So I pulled a little bit of my soap batter off, and I'm just going to make a little thin layer like this. I'm gonna make sure that it's thick enough that people will actually know what it is. Gonna use the top of my pipette again to connect everything. Sort of spread that white around where needed. And then after that's done, I'm gonna come back in and add a little thickness to the cloud. Then I'm gonna add a little more blue to this side. And I'm going to attempt to cover this cloud right here without breaking it too much. That seems to be working out all right. It can have some stratus clouds if we need them. Okay, let me just fill this up a little bit more. I'm gonna bounce this just a little bit and we'll add another cloud. Okay, and then do teeny tiny little cloud over here. Then we need to add a little more of the blue. All right, and I will scrape out my little blue container. I am going to texture the top just a little, not even hardly any that you could probably see from the camera. Awesome. All right, that's it. We're gonna let this one sit for 18 to 24 hours. Then we will come and cut it, and then we'll stamp it. So this little soap slab is exactly the wrong size for any of my cutters. So the first thing I'm gonna have to do is cut along the middle like this, and then I can take my single bar cutter and cut the actual like soaps into the shape that they're supposed to be. But I've got to get the thing split down the middle first. Okay, so now that I have my two gigantic loaves of soap, I've got my single bar cutter here, and we're just going to chop them up. I went ahead and checked this loaf size with my cutter, and turns out it's actually still too big. So I'm gonna go ahead and just cut the individual bars with my knife. Wow, that is a big block of soap. I'm gonna have to weigh that and see what it weighs. It's almost a pound of soap. Oh my gosh. I'm debating on whether or not I should slice it in half or just leave it as this is literally like almost a pound. It's like almost just a pound of soap. Nobody's gonna be able to use this. It's too big. Now, 7 ounces is a little closer to what my regular bars normally weigh. So basically, I'm just gonna chop this soap in half. We've got this extra bar here that doesn't really have anything special to it, but it's still good soap. And then we have our little frog pond that is significantly smaller and a lot more usable at this point. Yeah, that's a little better. And look how happy the little frogs look in their little ponds. Much happier than our poor gagging friend. 24 hours later, and this is what our soap is looking like. Admittedly, there's some soda ash on top, as you can see. I think that has more to do with the fragrance oil than anything else, but I'll give it a quick spritz all the same. Go ahead and turn this on the side. I am so nervous. It has been a long time since I've gotten this nervous about a cut. Looks like the layers are pretty nice here. I'm gonna let this sit for, I mean, even 30 minutes would help it be a little less sticky than it is now. Let's let it get a little bit exposed to the air. Actually, I don't know if I can wait that long. Let's live dangerously. At least I know my weaknesses. Pulling this up, I'm so nervous. I hope this worked. All right, gently does it, very gently indeed. All right, let's take a look at the inside. All right, Excellent! It did work just as I desired. So here's our little clouds floating around. And because I put them so close to the edge, it probably won't interfere with the flying ducks, which will be right here in the middle. Going to gently remove everybody. Perfect. Ah, I'm so pleased. So the soaps have been sitting for a few days and they are definitely now at a stampable hardness. So I have dusted a little bit of shimmery black magic mica from Fizz Fairy onto my stamp, and I'm just gonna tap it all around. I have it on a paper towel, which I find kind of helps it get into all the grooves of my stamp. Then I'm gonna tap it off. If there's any left on the edges, that's okay, because I am more than likely going to wipe off this soap. So let's put these ducks in the air, and then I'm going to very gently press in a clockwise motion. Now you can use a rubber mallet for this. Some people just like to use the palm of their hand, but I prefer to do it this way. And then remove it. This is what our ducks look like. Eee, I'm so excited. It honestly looks so much better than I thought that it might after I had poured this particular batch. So really pleased about that. I'm just gonna clean up some of my little edges there. And this is our finished flying duck soap. And you can see my little clouds. They're pretty perfectly placed. This one I might have moved up a little bit, and I might have moved this one a little more in, but even so, it still looks good. Do another one real quick. There we go. We'll just clean up this little edge here. Perfect. That one is perfectly in line with the clouds. Nobody's touching anybody else. Wow, I'm so in love with these. These are some of my favorite soaps I've probably made in all of 2021. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to check out Kiara's Etsy shop, TikTok, and Instagram at all the links down below. This sweatshirt legit is gonna be my favorite of the season. It's super, super fuzzy on the inside. The print quality is fantastic. I love it. It'll go with my jeans and my sweatpants. And remember, if you like the idea of me doing TikTok inspired soaps, go ahead and tag me on TikTok. My username is Royalty Soaps. Tag me in your favorite ones and be like, sister, you've got to make a soap inspired by this. And who knows, maybe we'll do a part 2, and maybe we will. Be sure you do something fun for yourself today, like tromping into the woods and collecting wild mushrooms. That may or may not have also been inspired by TikTok. Or perhaps catching some froggy friends, giving them a nice pet and saying, I love you, and then releasing them back into the wild. I don't really care what you do, just be sure you do something fun for you, and I will see you guys in the next video. So until then, bye for now. Meow.